Today, we're going to talk about 4 accidents that happened in the Prater Amusement Park. But before that, let's learn a little bit more about the place itself. The Wiener Prater is a large public park in Vienna's second district called Leopoldstadt in Austria. If people talk about the Wiener Prater, they often mean the Prater. The Prater is the oldest amusement park in the world. It was firstly mentioned in a document in 1162 under the reign of Emperor Friedrich I. In 1766, Emperor Joseph II donated the area to the people of Vienna, and from this point on, the Prater was accessible for everyone. Following to that, bowling alleys, cinemas, cafes, and merry-go-rounds were created. Being the oldest amusement park in the world, during World War II, bombs destroyed large parts of the Prater area. A large part of the Prater Amusement Park fell victim to the fire in April 1945. After 1945, the Prater was successfully rebuilt and still exists with renovated rides. Now let's talk about some of the accidents that happened on the rides of the Prater Amusement Park. Number 1. 2 Polish tourists became the first ever to end up trapped on Vienna's famous Ferris wheel after staff packed up and just went home. The couple had been the last to board the Wiener Riesenrad, which is German for Vienna Grand Wheel, at the end of the day, and the staff member decided to allow them around one more time. But they handed over the controls to a colleague who was unaware the couple were on board, and he switched the lights off and just went home. Company's boss said, "Something like this has simply never happened to us before." He said there were 2 members of staff on duty when the couple asked if they could go on the wheel for a romantic trip just before it closed, but the staff member had not realized and switched everything off. The 2 tourists had reported at first enjoyed the romantic view, but eventually became bored and decided to use their mobile phones to call for help. A staff member was reported quickly on the scene and arranged for the pair to be brought back to the ground, where they were given a bottle of champagne by way of apology. Number 2 occurred on the ride called Ecstasy. A fun fairgoer died after trying to jump onto a high-speed carousel at Vienna's Prater Amusement Park on a Saturday night. The drunk man, who was 34 years old, and a 29-year-old friend of his, had earlier taken a ride on the Ecstasy carousel, which can go up to speeds of 120 km per hour. But, as the pals were leaving, the already intoxicated man decided he wanted more and ran back to get on board the ride, which had already started. The shocked operator watched as the drunk hurled himself at the spinning carousel, and he immediately pushed the emergency stop button, but unfortunately it was too late. Police said that Monday, the man died soon later after multiple injuries. Number 3. This accident occurred on the Volare roller coaster ride. This unique ride is counted amongst the most thrilling roller coasters in the Prater. Opened in 2004, it was the first coaster of its kind and therefore unique to Europe. On a 420-meter long track, a 23-meter high, passengers enjoy a ride headlong and flying on their stomachs, and thus experience the feeling of flying. In October 2010, an accident occurred on this very ride, and was considered a very serious accident where at least one person, supposedly a Slovenian citizen, was seriously injured. Another source gives out the more detailed information and says 3 people were injured on the Volare roller coaster when a crane crashed against the ride. The wagon steered into the crane's hoist, set close to the ride. A 21-year-old Macedonian man sustained serious head injuries when he fell 8 meters to the ground from the platform supported by the crane. 1 tourist sustained a broken arm, while her friend suffered cuts and bruises. The official accident report says that employee operating the roller coaster was unaware that the worker was busy on the scaffolding when he started up the ride. Newspapers, however, report that the attraction has been in operation many times while the painters were busy. Number 4 is from August of 2017. The horror happened on a Monday afternoon around 5 p.m. at the, again, Volare roller coaster in the iconic Prater Park, located in the city center of the Austrian capital of Vienna. Police spokesman Harold Soros said, The man entered the operating area of the roller coaster and was hit by an approaching set. The 26-year-old victim, who has not been named, died from severe head wounds. The wagons of the Volare roller coaster hang below metal rails. Its passengers lie with their heads facing forward and have a clear view downwards. A car suddenly hit the employee, causing him to suffer serious head injuries. He was immediately airlifted to a nearby hospital, but unfortunately died a short time later. Two Belgian tourists who witnessed the accident said the man was standing with his back to them when he was hit. The police could not confirm speculation in local media that the employee was picking up the phone of some passenger when he was hit. The police spokesman also said, "We have interrogated two passengers as well as the operator of the roller coaster immediately after the accident. Yet, it is still unclear how the accident happened." I want to end this video by saying, even though accidents do happen sometimes, especially on amusement park rides, this should not stop you from getting on one and having fun. The Wiener Prater is a unique place to visit, especially considering its historical significance, and if you ever have the chance to, please make a visit.